For the past 6 months, I've been working fully remote from my home, sometimes cafe, or co-working space. While working remotely comes with its own set of challenges, I've also learned a lot through trial and error. I've discovered many different ways to maximize my productivity at home, and I'm really excited to share with you in this video. If you're new here, my name is Kelvin and I'm a software engineer working fully remote based in Kuala Lumpur. I work remotely full-time and I share my journey as a software engineer along the way. I try my best to document everything I've learned as I continue to grow and navigate in this lifestyle. Now, I know remote working may sound like a dream with flexibility, no commute, but it's not as easy as it seems. Staying productive while working remote can be tough, and I definitely have my fair share of struggles. I've developed some habits and strategies that have really helped me focus and get things done. I've had some questions from you guys in the comments asking about how I managed to stay productive while working from home. So in this video, I'm going to break it down for you the tips and habits that worked for me. Building a morning routine. I used to think that morning routine is the least important, especially that I'm not a morning person. But once I give it a shot, my morning routine has become a key part of my day. I found out that a structured routine helps you start your day with purpose and action instead of feeling scattered and reactive. Now, having a morning routine does not mean that you will be waking up at 5 or 6 a.m. Do not get the wrong idea. For me, I usually wake up between 8 to 9 a.m. these days. After I get up, I'll wash up, make my daily dose of protein shake, prepare some light breakfast such as eggs and bread. I will also brew some coffee. Since I use a filter, this will take a few minutes, and during the time, I will hang out and play with char siu and wonton. Once the coffee is ready, I will bring it to my desk, and that marks the beginning of my work. I find that this transition from being home mode to work mode is very important as it helps shift my mindset and stay focused throughout the day. If you are someone who have a morning routine, feel free to share your routine down in the comment section below. I would like to find out. Having a to-do list is very important to me. I usually spend about 10 minutes before I go to bed organizing my tasks for the next day. I generally have two types of to-do lists, a weekly and a daily to-do list. How it works is the daily to-do list will fit into the bigger weekly goals. I would like to emphasize that the goal is not to complete 100% of everything, but it's to get at least 80% done. As Tim Ferriss pointed out in his famous book, 4 Hours Work Week, we should aim for enough rather than perfection. Let me give you an example. If you plan to hit the gym 5 times this week, but somehow you only manage to hit the gym 4 times, that is still a win for you and you shouldn't be too hard on yourself. Another minor thing that I do with my to-do list is I have this habit of batching the similar tasks together. If my to-do includes freelance work, some tasks from my full-time job, and some random ad hoc tasks that I need to get it done, I will usually block time to handle the full-time job first, and once all that is sorted, then I jump into my freelance work. I find this approach helpful in a way where it prevents me from bouncing back and forth between different work, which can be quite mentally draining. And lastly, I would strongly recommend adding a layer of prioritization onto your to-do list. I usually tackle the most important or challenging tasks in the morning when my mind is still fresh. This way, you will make real progress on the work that matter most right when you're at your best. Time blocking. I find time blocking very helpful, especially since I find myself procrastinate a lot. By scheduling specific block of time for each task using a calendar, it helped me stay focused and get into a flow state, or some people call it the zone, where I can work way more efficiently. Let me give you an example. If I have meetings in the morning, I will usually try and handle the smaller tasks or those ad hoc tasks during that time because meeting will often disrupt the flow state. And then I will time block about 2 to 4 hours in the afternoon to really dive into focused work such as coding, code reviews, etc. After some rest, usually over dinner, I will spend another 2 to 3 hours to either read or work on video editing. For me, Time blocking isn't just for work, it also applies to other activities like going to the gym. I have a 2 hours time block for gym, for cooking, or even meeting a friend. I find this approach work for me because it helps me manage my time better and reduce procrastination. It makes sure that I'm giving attention to the right thing at the right time. Do you often find yourself getting distracted in the middle of the work? I do, and that has been a constant problem. But I found a few ways I would like to share with you on how I reduce distractions when I'm in deep work. Here are some little things that help me minimize distraction when I'm in my flow state. The goal is to keep the flow state going without any interruptions. If you're an iPhone user like me, there's one handy trick to set your phone in monotone. I've set this quick accessibility feature so when you tap your power button 3 times, it will turn black and white. Right, just a quick one. As I was editing the video, I just realized that I did not go through the steps to set this accessibility shortcut. So let me run it through with you quickly. First of all, enter your settings. Go to accessibility. After that, you scroll all the way down, tap on accessibility shortcut and activate color filter. Once that's done, you can give it a try and it should work for you. I am an iPhone user, so I'm not too sure whether Android have this feature or not. Maybe you can ask my good friend Google and hopefully that will help. And now back to the video. And of course, you can tap it another 3 times to return on its original color state. I find that this minor change significantly reduced my temptation to scroll through social media or get distracted by other applications. Another game changer is, of course, my AirPods, and these are noise cancelling earphones. I'm emphasizing the noise cancelling feature because it really helps me focus when I'm in my deep work. Nowadays, I cannot live without my earphones. Having a pair of earphones really helped me stay in the zone for much longer. I would also recommend building your own playlist. For me, I listen to hip hop lo-fi or movie soundtracks, which is more on the energetic vibe. I personally find it difficult to work with songs where you have singers singing, but you might have a different preference that work for you. Creating a dedicated workspace is another effective way to limit distractions, especially if you are not alone at home. I understand that not everybody have this luxury, but if this is a consistent issue that affect your productivity at home, maybe consider working from a cafe or a co-working space. Sometimes investing in a productive environment is well worth it. Keeping your workspace tidy. This is a really big one because if your space is messy, your thoughts are more likely to be cluttered and chaotic as well. Taking some time off to tidy up your room or your workspace can serve as a refreshing reset. For me, if I need to clear my head or to take a 5 to 10 minutes break away from coding, usually I will tidy my desk and make sure everything is in order and in place. I think it's really important to make your workspace a space where you are extremely excited to be in. I would also suggest investing in some organizers or additional storage solution to store some of the items that you do not use frequently. And if possible, make sure your space is well lit with natural lighting. Being happy and comfortable in your workspace is especially important when you are working remote. This will affect your productivity severely. Let's face it, many of us spend more time on the desk than on our bed. Can you imagine that? So, if your workspace is messy, it will definitely affect your productivity. Take 5 to 10 minutes during your break to reorganize and declutter. This small investment of time can make a really significant difference, and you might even want to consider adding some personal touch to your workspace, whether it's a plant or a favorite photo or some inspiring artwork. The goal of keeping your workplace tidy is to create an inviting and organized environment, which then enhance your mood and motivates you to tackle your tasks more effectively. Hobbies and activities. I find that planning hobbies and activities throughout the week can also help with your productivity. This may not be a popular opinion, but hear me out. We as human beings, it's often challenging to not seek for external motivation to help us stay on track. For instance, I've invited a couple of friends to my place over for board games, or during one of the working days, I invited my friends to work together at a cafe. Sometimes I also enjoy activities such as playing badminton and bouldering. Having such activities planned out give me something to look forward to. As a result, I find that I'm living my life more purposeful, and that will indirectly give me a drive to be more productive. Let me give you a very real example. I have a badminton session and I need to be done with filming this video by then. I know it sounds a bit like when you were young, your parents used to say that you only can go out and play with your friends once you're complete with your homework. It's all about setting up that incentive for yourself. I know it sounds like I'm dangling a carrot on a stick and even maybe attaching the stick on my own head, but you got to do what works for you. I would recommend give this a try and see how you feel. It might seem like a small change at first, but sometimes this tiny habit can accumulate into significant gain in productivity. And lastly, I have a bonus tip for you. Listen very closely. Maybe you should get a cat